Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to Shunya IAS PSIR course. This is lecture 4, and in this lecture, I'm going to be wrapping up Plato by discussing 3 analytical questions on him, and I'll start with the second thinker in our syllabus, that is Aristotle. Right. This is lecture number 4. 3 analytical questions. Number 1. Plato was an enemy of open society. This is a quote, a statement, an argument, an assertion, a claim, an analysis made by Austrian philosopher and economist Karl Popper. And he wrote this during the Second World War. And the Second World War happened in the middle of the 20th century. And famous historian Eric Hobsbawm, he calls the 20th century as the age of extremes. You see, 19th century is the age of ideologies, because in that century the world witnessed the birth of many ideologies such as liberalism, nationalism, communism, socialism, feminism, all of these, conservatism, right? They all became systematic ideologies, and these ideologies were put in place across the world in the 20th century, late 19th century and early 20th century. And in the middle of the 20th century, you had these ideologies clashing against each other, leading to world wars. And then the great ideological battle between capitalism and communism in the second half of the 20th century, which we call as the Cold War between, of course, the United States and the Soviet Union. Right. So Karl Popper wrote in this background, and he wanted to find out and single them out. Who all? The enemies of freedom, the enemies of liberalism, whose thought people could use to justify horrible acts and atrocities. Right? Many Germans would refer to Plato. Plato had said, remember, regarding the great philosopher king, Hitler is the philosopher king. Plato had said about a utopia, beautiful city where everyone is equal, where there is no corruption, where there is no private property. See, we can create that kind of a utopia in communism. Plato had said only the proper Greek people who are superior race, only they should carry forward their genes, and the corrupted ones, the tainted ones, the polluted ones, the deformed ones should be eliminated. Hitler is doing that for the German Aryan race. So in this background, Karl Popper wrote his book, Enemies of Open Society. In this book, 2 thinkers are singled out by Popper and viciously attacked. That is, their thoughts were attacked in his book. Number 1 was Plato, number 2 was Karl Marx, who was a thinker of the 19th century. He is the most important thinker of socialism and communism. Right? And when I teach you this answer, I have to teach a lot of basic points regarding some concepts. What is the meaning of totalitarianism? What is the meaning of communism? We are going to deal with all these topics in other parts of the syllabus in detail. Right? In, let's say, the topic of ideologies, you will be taught the meaning of totalitarianism, the meaning of fascism, the meaning of Nazism, the meaning of communism in detail. Right? But here, briefly, just so that you can understand this question and answer. Right. Now, the question is, Was Plato an enemy of open society? An alternative question would be Plato was a forerunner, a pioneer thinker, the first thinker to visualize a totalitarian state. These are the questions. How will you write? You will write who wrote this view, who came up with this argument, and why, and in what context that argument was made. Then you will compare Plato's thoughts with the thoughts of this author, Karl Popper. He is a liberal, right? So we'll compare liberalism, which is the governing ideology of Western civilization. We'll compare that with the ideas of Plato, and why this kind of an attack has been made, this kind of a charge has been made, and what are the comparisons, how you can draw parallels, make comparisons between horrible communist totalitarian regime in Soviet Union and even worse regime in Nazi Germany. Compare these two political systems with Plato's ideas. Then positively conclude, defend Plato a bit. So this will be the structure of the answer, the flow of the answer, right? Now in the introduction, the first segment, you will write that Plato's political philosophy as expressed in the Republic was about creating an unchanging, perfect and permanent Callipolis, beautiful city, which was based on a model of justice rooted on citizens performing their duties in a hierarchical manner. Full stop. All these things I've taught you in Plato's theory of justice. This is the first sentence you will write. Full stop. Karl Popper wrote his book Enemies of Open Society in an era dominated by fascism, Nazism, totalitarianism, and communism, where individuals like Hitler, Stalin took inspiration from Plato's ideas and his concept of utopia to build their Third Reich. Third Reich matlab the Third Empire of Germany. To build the Third Reich and a workers' paradise. Soviet Union was seen as a workers' paradise. Mazduron ka Jannat. Right. What is the Third Reich? You see, Hitler, and this is a very important point, Third Reich. Like I said, there are so many concepts and facts that you need to be taught to make sense out of this topic. Right. Third Reich, boys and girls, means Third Empire. Right. According to Hitler, how he sees German history, this is very important. For Hitler, the first empire of Germany was built by Emperor Charlemagne in 800 AD. From 800 AD till let's say 1806. So that empire was called as the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation. Right. And Napoleon destroyed it. First of all, it was not a real proper empire. Why? Because it was more of a loose federation. Right. You see, Central Europe is the area inhabited by the Germanic people. Right. And for a long time in history, they could be called as Germanic peoples. One people means one nation. Peoples means multiple nations. And you may say they're Germanic. They speak German language. Why were they not a nation? They were not a nation because they were, let's say, divided based on religion, Many Germanic peoples, they migrated to different parts of Europe after the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. Entire Europe, if you see, is actually Germanic. The era of Plato and Aristotle, they belonged to Greeks, the Greek area. Then subsequently, political power shifted to Rome, which itself, the Latin people of Italy, they built their empire around the Mediterranean Sea. It included parts of modern day France, parts of modern day Germany, Switzerland, North Africa, the Iberian Peninsula that consists of two sovereign countries today, Portugal and Spain. Right? They were all Latin Roman Empire. And then across the river Rhine, which is in Germany, across the river Rhine, you had a lot of Germanic peoples, tribes, who all spoke the German language. Right? They were the enemies of the Roman Empire. And these hundreds of tribes like these, such as the Franks, from which you get the name France, then the Goths, then the Visigoths, then the Lombards, the northern state of Italy, Lombardy, comes from Lombards who conquered them. Right? The Franks, led by the Franks from which tribe Charlemagne also comes. The Franks were a Germanic tribe. They conquered the Roman province of Gaul, which is today France. Right? And then then that place came to be called as France, the land of the Franks. Right? So these were Germanic people. Right? Then they all invade different parts of Roman Empire. Right? So the original land of Germany later in history becomes its own empire. Right? And Italy was conquered Europe was conquered by different Germanic tribes who all became their own kings. The Angles and Saxons, Germanic tribes, they went to the British Isles, they became England. Right? So the England. Right? English is a Germanic language, not a romantic Latin language like French or Italian or Spanish. Right? Yes, there are a lot of Latin words in the English language. English language has accepted a lot of different language, has accepted a lot of words from different languages. Even Sanskrit words such as Aryan, Guru, right? The Tantra, Tantric, many Sanskrit words, because of course they ruled us. Anyway, finally, around 800 AD, the king in modern day in contemporary Germany of that time, he helped the Pope. It's a long story. So long story short, the Pope anoints the emperor of the Franks, Charlemagne, as the new Roman emperor. Even though Roman Empire had been dead for several centuries because of these Germanic tribes, one of the kings, the greatest of all the Germanic kings, he got some favors. He did some favors to the Pope, and Pope picked up the old crown of the Roman emperor and placed it on the head of Charlemagne and called him Augustus. Augustus was actually the first Roman emperor's name. So this fellow was also renamed Augustus. You are Augustus, and with you, Roman Empire is reborn. But these guys were not really Roman, they were German. That's why the name is the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation. Right? Anyway, so this fellow becomes Roman Emperor. And holy, why? Because it was the Pope who gave legitimacy, legality and Ashirvad to that empire. So holy, Roman, unholy to Thai. Why? Because the Pope is sitting in Rome, right? An Italian Pope is sitting in Rome, right? Anyway, but there was nothing holy, because later the empire got divided based on Christianity, Christian sects. The northern parts of the empire became Protestant, and they became enemies of the Pope. Anyway, then empire, it was not really an empire, because the emperor who was sitting in Vienna, the Habsburg emperor he was called, because the dynasty that ruled this empire from the 1300s till the empire died came from one family called the Habsburg family. So they were the family who ruled from Vienna. So the emperor sat in Vienna, and the others, the German, and there were different political systems within the Holy Roman Empire. There were 300 types of political system. Just like in ancient Greece, you had small political systems, Sparta, Athens. The same way, there were 300. The biggest being Austria and Prussia. So later, Prussia, whose capital was Berlin, unites all of these under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck in 1871, which you will read in world history, and Germany is united. And this was the Protestant side of Germany. The Catholic side of Germany remains as Austria even to this very day. Right. So anyway, the empire built by Charlemagne in 800 AD is called as the First Reich by Adolf Hitler. Right. Then this empire ends in 1806. Napoleon destroys it and the Holy Roman Emperor himself dissolves it. Napoleon destroyed, the emperor dissolves his own empire. Right. Then Napoleon creates this Confederation of the Rhine and controls parts of Germany completely. Then the wars of coalition happen against Napoleon. All the European powers, Russia, Austria, Prussia, and England, they fight against Napoleon. The Napoleon is defeated in 1815, and then a new German Confederation is born. A loose union of German states is born, which is again led by Austria, historical leaders of Germany. Right. If Austria was Bade Mia, the Chote Mia was of course Prussia, right? And then Prussia gets this great minister-president, he was called Otto von Bismarck. So he leads the northern parts of the German Confederation and forges an empire by defeating first Austria, then France, right? So again, now this happened, this defeat of France and Austria is defeated in 1864, and then France is defeated in the Battle of Sadowa. Prussia, Chote Mia beats Bade Mia, Austria, German ka Bade Mia, the elder brother of Germany, in a battle called Battle of Sadowa in 1864. Then 7 years later, the biggest power on the European continent, France, was defeated again by Prussia in the Battle of Sedan. Right, and then Germany is united. The northern German speaking people become part of the German Empire, built, created, forged in 1871. So the First Reich was from 800 AD to 1806, a 1000-year empire, the First Reich. The Second Reich was from 1871, because the German Empire, the king was from the Hohenzollern dynasty, which sat in Berlin, modern day capital of Germany, and the leader, the great man, was Otto von Bismarck, who was the prime minister. Later, when the empire is formed, he becomes chancellor, which is even today used as the head of the government, chancellor of Germany. Right. So the Second Reich happens, survives till the end of the First World War. So 1871 to 1918, 50 years. That is Second Reich. Then Germany is defeated in the First World War. Then Germany is made to pay for the damages, for the reparations, the indemnity for causing the First World War. And France and Britain punishes Germany like that, especially France, which hates Germany, because Germany was formed because Prussia defeated France in Sedan in 1871. They carried that anger, the revenge. And finally, Germany is humiliated in 1919 Treaty of Versailles. Right. Now, till early 1930s, Germany is humiliated, is hungry, is starving, has no army. Then अंधेरी रातों में सुनसान राहों पर हर जुल्म मिटाने के लिए आया कौन? मसीहा. कौन? शहंशाह. कौन? Hitler. So Hitler was seen like this, a great masiha, a philosopher king who comes to reawaken Germany and make Germany the world's greatest superpower. Right. So Hitler says, my rule say, mera raj se, from 1933, the Third Reich starts. The Third Reich. Right. So that is a Third Reich. And he said, just like Charlemagne's empire went for 1,000 years, I want my Third Reich to go on for 1,000 years. See, I have connected history. Why? Because totalitarians, they have this tendency of historicism. They have this belief that, okay, हम पहले वो थे, ट्राइब्स थे, बाद में रोम को तोड़ा, बाद में खुद का साम्राज्य बनाया, उसके बाद हमारा इंटरनल वीकनेस की वजह से हम टूट गए, उसके बाद एक ग्रेट लीडर फिर से यूनिफाई किया, उसके बाद और एक ग्रेट लीडर आया हिटलर, जो और आगे लेके जाएगा 1000 साल के लिए. तो दीज गाइज बिलीव इन लॉज ऑफ, बिलीव दैट देयर एग्जिस्ट लॉज ऑफ हिस्ट्री, कि एक डेस्टिनी है हमारा, और वो डेस्टिनी अल्टीमेट गोल है. डे टू डे लोगों का concerns not important. What's important is our race, our nation, our people, and our goal, our destiny. Plato also wanted this. Guardians didn't have a life of their own. Everybody had to contribute to the good of the society, and this was determined by the philosopher king, who was the greatest person with the highest amount of wisdom, right? And Karl Marx, what did he say? Karl Marx said, throughout history has been nothing but class struggle between classes, the haves and the have nots, those who have money and capital, those who do not have, the industrialist versus the laborer, the zamindar versus the gulam, right? And these classes will fight, will struggle against each other, and finally the workers, the least advantageous class, the worst have nots, will go for a revolution against the haves, the capitalists, the industrialists, the factory owners, and they will establish their own Tanashahi and destroy the old way of living and establish a utopia, a Jannat for the workers. Right. So Marx also believed that history has a theory, history has a destiny, and history until now went like this and it will go like this, right? This is called as historicism, right? And that is not something great. What is actually good, आज की देखो, इमीडिएट फ्यूचर का देखो, लोगों का डे टू डे का फ्रीडम्स, लिबर्टीज, इक्वालिटी को देखना है. दिस इज व्हाट लिबरलिज्म टेल्स अस, दिस इज व्हाट प्रैग्मेटिज्म टेल्स अस, समझदारी बेसिक. बट ये लोग बड़े बड़े आइडियाज के लिए कुछ भी कर लेंगे, right? Anyway, now you understand the third Reich का concept. साथ ही साथ you, a lot of facts I've connected. साथ ही साथ I made you understand historicism and the concept of essentialism, where एक एक आइडिया के लिए कुछ भी करने के लिए तैयार है. इक्वालिटी के लिए लोगों को मारो. मार्क्स ने क्या बोला? इक्वालिटी के लिए फैक्ट्री ओनर को मारना है, एक एक नहीं, सबको. Called as essentialism. That is, it means for fundamental ideas such as emancipation, deliverance, such as equality, absolute equality, कुछ भी करने के लिए तैयार, लोगों को मारना भी है. मार्क्स ने खुद बोला. How? I'll tell you. 1871, I told you that Prussia under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck beats France in the Battle of Sedan. So Prussia beats France, right? Then you know what happens in France, in Paris? When France was attacked, when Paris was attacked by Germany, by Prussia basically, to form German Empire, the army of the French, they were fighting the war against Germany, against Prussia, sorry. Paris was under the rule of the National Guard. Right? So they were the defenders of the city. But these defenders had a lot of people who were influenced by socialist ideas. And these ideas were trending at that time. So what they did was they hijacked the city. They held the city. Right? Many people in the army was weak. So this was called as the Paris Commune, based on communism. So Paris was taken control of, and Paris mein these soldiers, what they did, they were influenced by socialism. They wanted to help the workers, so they reduced rent prices by half. They passed regulations to provide a lot of social benefits to workers. Marx was very impressed with this. But then what happens? The army takes back control of Paris. Thousands of these people who had held the city of Paris in the name of socialism, they were murdered, and the old system was restored. Right? So because of this, Karl Marx says, जो लोग पेरिस का कब्जा किया ना, इनको पता है क्या करना चाहिए था? इनका अपना ही आर्मी रखना चाहिए था, इनको टेरराइज करना चाहिए था, लोगों को मारना चाहिए था. दैट दे शुड हैव फॉट अगेंस्ट द फ्रेंच आर्मी एंड नॉट अलाउड, बिकॉज रेवोल्यूशन करने के बाद काउंटर रेवोल्यूशन होता है. सो टू सप्रेस एनी फ्यूचर काउंटर रेवोल्यूशन, जब मजदूर लोग कमर तोड़ते हैं कैपिटलिस्ट का, व्हेन दे लीड द रेवोल्यूशन अगेंस्ट द सिस्टम, they should establish Mazduri Tanasahi. The Mazduri Tanasahi will make sure पुराना जमाने जो traditionalists will not come back to power. The capitalists will not come back to power. That any counter revolution will not happen. So just see, Karl Marx is literally promoting terror, violence, mass murder in the name of equality, which is an essential idea. And this Karl Popper calls as essentialism. So I taught you historicism, then essentialism, then आता है holism. Holism मतलब क्या? Whole scale change of society, revolution, radical change, पलटा दो सिस्टम, कोई सिस्टम फाड़ दो. प्लेटो wanted to do this. ग्रीस में इतना फ्रीडम का वैल्यू था, ये क्या करने लगा? डेमोक्रेसी बंद करो, फिलोसोफर को खड़ा करो और सोसाइटी को डिवाइड करो. होलसेल चेंज. कार्ल मार्क्स वांटेड दैट. सिस्टम ही खत्म करो, कैपिटलिज्म. राइट, होलिज्म. देन ऑफ कोर्स द फोर्थ प्रॉब्लम, इंडिविजुअल इज अ मींस एंड द अल्टीमेट गोल इज द सोसाइटी, द स्टेट. हिटलर क्या बोला? प्लेटो ने क्या बोला? इंडिविजुअल को अपना कोई लाइफ नहीं है. ऑल दे हैव टू डू इज वर्क फॉर द स्टेट. What did Hitler say? Who are you? Everything is about race. Everything is about race. The German race. German race के लिए हिटलर बताएगा. हिटलर ने बोला, all Hitler had instructed and incentivized, motivated the German women to become pregnant as many times as possible. Why? He said, जर्मनी का फ्यूचर के लिए सोल्जर्स चाहिए, 1000 साल का साम्राज्य के लिए सोल्जर्स चाहिए. तो उन औरतों का अपना ही कोई लाइफ नहीं था. मतलब देयर बॉडीज वर बीइंग कंट्रोल्ड बाय हिटलर, दैट दे वर मेड इनटू बेबी फैक्ट्रीज. व्हाट डिड प्लेटो से? प्लेटो सेड व्हाट? Men and women will be made to mate with each other to produce children for the future, and they will be separated from their kids. Right? So individualism means to the state. What did Karl Marx say? Individual का कुछ नहीं है. We are social beings. We have to help each other. Right? Socialism was based on what? It's the very same thing. So individual का अपना कुछ भी नहीं है. Everything is about the society, the community. This is called as being individual. So basically इस कहानी की वजह में चारों core features of totalitarianism मैंने एक्सप्लेन कर दिया, जो प्लेटो की थॉट्स में है और जो मॉडर्न 20th सेंचुरी टोटलिटेरियनिज्म में थे. एनीवे, सो इंट्रोडक्शन, आई हैव आर्टिकुलेटेड द कॉन्टेक्स्ट. व्हाट्स द कॉन्टेक्स्ट? लिबरलिज्म. पॉपर, द ऑथर ऑफ दिस स्टेटमेंट, ही इज अ लिबरल, एंड लिबरलिज्म. So Karl Popper, I'll articulate it. Karl Popper was a supporter of liberalism, which is the governing ideology of Western open societies. And the ideas of liberalism include individual liberty and equality between individuals, because individual possess the faculty of reason and must be autonomous, that required institutions such as the state to be limited, accountable, representative, and based on popular consent of the people, which also believed in pluralism, tolerance of values, free speech, dissent, property rights, and a free market economy. Full stop. अब इतना सारा बोल दिया, फ्लो में आर्टिकुलेट कर दिया, बट आई एक्सप्लेन ऑल्सो. लिबरलिज्म, लिबरल लिबर्टी, किन का लिबर्टी? सरकार का, इंसान का, ह्यूमन बीइंग का, इंडिविजुअल का, राइट? सो लिबरलिज्म बिलीव्स दैट एवरी इंडिविजुअल is equal with between each other. मतलब all individuals they are equal. There is no superior individual or inferior individual. प्लेटो ने क्या बोला? Some men have more reason, some have more spirit, some have more appetite. ये सब नहीं है, सब में रीजन है, सब में appetite है, सब में सब कुछ है, right? Aristotle, what did he say? Some men are naturally born to be rulers, some men are naturally born to be masters, some men are naturally born to be gulam. Liberalism doesn't believe in that. It believes in fundamental equality between all human beings. Then it believes that every human being has reason. Every human being has reason. And if every human being has reason, they should be trusted with more freedom and autonomy and, of course, liberty. How do you give them liberty? What is the greatest danger to the liberty of an individual? The state. तो state का powers को limited करो. State को accountable करो to the people, and state should be based on representatives. That state का जो legislative wing है वो क्या है, उसमें कौन होना चाहिए? सांसद. सांसद को चुनते कौन? जनता. They give the consent to the Sansad, right? So this is the institutions. Then liberalism believes in tolerance of values. You believe in that God, I believe in this God, but we should not hurt each other. Tolerance of values, religion. It believes in freedom of speech. Right? Individuals should have the hak to disagree with the government, without which how will they control the government or change the government? How will they keep the government accountable? Through their representatives whom they can remove. And to remove they need free speech, freedom of speech and expression, and dissent, rejection. Right? An individual should be allowed to have his own property and have business relations, make transactions in the market, free market economy. Right, so this is what liberalism stands for, right? How it is the governing ideology of the West, then how liberalism views the individuals, what individual should get, what he has, and how to make it happen by limiting the state and the kind of values, the worldview, that is pluralism, right? So the context में ये liberalism की context है. Compare liberalism with Plato's ideas. Plato, what did he say? He said the philosopher king will not be bound by any law. Remember the quote, the physician should not be constrained or limited by the book of medicine. So the medical practitioner, the doctor, the physician should not be limited by the book of medicine. He should use his own discretion, his own gyan, his own skill to do what he wants, right? So he wanted the philosopher king to be above any law, that no law should limit him or circumscribe him or constrain him or limit his powers generally, right? Then he created a regimented, hierarchical, rigid society based on what? Inexplicable theory of forms. What is the meaning of inexplicable? देखो, explicate मतलब explain, inexplainable जो explain ही नहीं कर सकते, same as inexplicable, right? Explicate word आपका PYQs में आता है, कुछ स्टेटमेंट बताया, कोट दे दिया, वो बोलते explicate, right? Anyway, प्लेटो का थियरी ऑफ सोल्स का प्रूफ क्या है? इस थियरी ऑफ सोल्स का प्रूफ क्या है? कुछ है ही नहीं, राइट? दिस थियरी ऑफ फॉर्म्स, द अदर वर्ल्ड, कहां है भाई प्रूफ, राइट? So this philosopher king, he is not at all controlled by any law. Today the constitution के ऊपर नहीं कोई सरकार, ऐसे कोई भी लॉ नहीं है, कानून के ऊपर नहीं है हमारा सरकार, बट इधर कानून का ऊपर है philosopher king, right? Then the worst ideas, either liberalism talks about free speech, either censorship, complete censorship, then communism, that is denial of your property, denial of having family, basic needs of human being, right? So individuals do not have any choices. They cannot follow their own aspirations. They don't have social mobility, ये सब बताया ना मैं क्रिटिकल इवैल्यूएशन में. व्हाट इज सोशल मोबिलिटी? एक क्लास से दूसरे क्लास जाना, लोअर क्लास से पैसे कमा के मिडिल देन अपर मिडिल क्लास रिच क्लास जाने का. रिंकू सिंह, यशस्वी जायसवाल, they are socially mobile. From very poor people, through sheer hard work, determination, luck and skill, they've risen above the social ladder. Now they're rich. 5 करोड़ की घर ले लिया जायसवाल ने. 5 साल पहले कहां था उसका हालत? He was selling pani puris. Now he's buying homes for 5 crores in Bombay. Future captain of India, possibly. Right? So that is social mobility. Rags to riches. फिजिक्स वाला कौन है वो? एटेक प्लेटफॉर्म बना दिया, बिलियनियर. राइट. तो एजुकेशन टू मासेस, education, the kind of education that Plato was giving, what were they? Dogmatic indoctrination. Indoctrination मतलब समझो brain wash. These are words that you have to learn in your journey of UPSC. मतलब brain wash करना किसी को. Dogmatic मतलब क्या? Rigid ideas जिसका कोई proof नहीं है. अंधविश्वास को, बिना प्रूफ की विश्वास, अंधविश्वास. राइट. तो dogmatic indoctrination of the guardians. Guardians have been brainwashed to be rulers and soldiers and to rule the masses, the producer class, as though they were sheep. Anyway, let me articulate this. Plato in the book Republic argues for the creation of a Callipolis ruled by the philosopher king who would govern based on his understanding of theory of souls, which has no proof and is inexplicable, full stop. Plato further had divided the society into regimented hierarchical social classes, full stop. The philosopher king was not restrained by any law or constitution and would completely censor speech, art and literature, full stop. Through communism, Plato denied ordinary people, Plato denied the guardians from having their own family or even property, full stop. Plato also denied choices, aspirations and social mobility of ordinary individuals who can pursue their own dreams and aspirations and happiness, full stop. His system of education was to indoctrinate the guardians to rule the masses like sheep, full stop. So here in this segment you have compared liberalism and Plato's Callipolis. Then जो मैंने 4 pointers बताया पहले starting में, that is Plato ka prescription, his ideas, if you compare it with the core features of totalitarianism, you can find a match. 4 matches on 4 accounts. First is essentialism. Fundamental ideas. Plato talks about truth, beauty, justice. These people, Marxists, communists, they talk about equality, emancipation of the workers को आजाद कराना. ठीक है. Then historicism, laws of history. Plato said Athens में पहले oligarchy था. After Sparta beat Athens, remember I taught you 30 tyrants, 30 oligarchical families were installed by Sparta to rule Athens as a colony. Then people revolted against it. So oligarchy becomes democracy. Democracy में rich and poor का, Plato's views on democracy में I taught you. Rich and poor के बीच में कलेश में आएगा 56 इंच का सीना लीडर. तो टिरनी आता है, टिरनी, ही विल बिकम अ टिरेंट, तानाशाही. देन इसका सॉल्यूशन क्या प्लेटो बोलता है? फिलोसोफर किंग. राइट. दैट देयर आर लॉज ऑफ हिस्ट्री कि स्टेट्स एक साइकिल जैसे चलते हैं कि बुरा 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 खराब गवर्नमेंट आके देने का अच्छा गवर्नमेंट आएगा. द सेम वे कार्ल मार्क्स सेड अबाउट क्लास स्ट्रगल, that history has been a history of classes, haves and have nots fighting against each other, having struggle against each other, and finally one day classless society, communist society hoga, where there will not be any social class, there will not be rich or poor, everybody will be happy, all the needs will be met, everybody will work and contribute for each other's well-being, right? So ये historically ये destined है, ये होगा ही, predict किया था, prophesize किया था, like a prophet क्या कहता है? He gives prophecy का एक दिन ये सब होगा, सबका एक judgment होगा जब आप भगवान के सामने जाओगे, judgment day होगा आपका, right? So historicism, and then Third Reich of Hitler, I said, वो भी part of laws of history, historicism, Third Reich, right? Then is holism, like I said, comprehensive, complete change of society. Plato had divided the society. He wanted to do social engineering, eugenics, race को implete करना, promote करना, purify करना, right? Hitler did it. Then individual is nothing but a means to the state. And the individual is just an instrument for the well-being of the state, for the nation, for the race. Folk, V-O-L-K, Volkswagen. Folk means people, जनता, right? Here guardians अपना सब personal life को खो के सब सरकार चलाने के लिए बैठे हुए. And in Hitler also talked about race, the German people, and here they're talking about workers. सबको काम करना है, अमीरों को घर लूट लिया रेवोल्यूशन करके, right? So this is how you compare. In the conclusion, sort of positive, we'll defend Plato. There's one fellow, C.E.M. Joad. So he said, जो पॉपर का अटैक है, पॉपर जो गाली दिया प्लेटो को, ये अनफेयर है यार. बंदा कोई और समय में जी रहा था, सोसाइटी अलग था, सिटी स्टेट्स होते थे, 3 लाख की जनता होते थे, उसमें स्लेव्स इतना होते थे. अनफेयर है भाई, अनैक्रोनिस्टिक है. तो अनैक्रोनिस्टिक मतलब जो क्रोनोलॉजी की हिसाब से नहीं है. अमित शाह कहते हैं पहले आप क्रोनोलॉजी समझिए कि वो कब रहता था, ये अभी कब कहां रहते हैं, अभी क्या जमाना है, क्या माहौल है अभी का, right? It is anachronistic and unfair. And then he says, yeah, Plato was against war. Did he ever talk about war? Plato blamed Athenian democracy. Remember, Athenian democracy की वजह से Athens expanded as an empire and made enemies, which ultimately led to the Peloponnesian War, and Athens got defeated. Plato did not like war. He talked about self-sufficiency. क्या बोला? Every city-state requires wise rulers, brave soldiers to defend the land, and ambitious producers. He never talked about building empires, conquering other man's territories. Right? And he was against corruption. His goal was different. He wanted ethics in politics. He wanted politics to be based on knowledge. Every individual should work as per his talents for the well-being of the society. Right? For eudaimonia. These goals. But what does Hitler say? We are the Germans. We have to conquer Russia. We have to conquer France. We have to go to war. We need soldiers. Women were asked to become pregnant to build what? To create soldiers. Soldiers for what? To conquer Russia. Hitler wanted to create Lebensraum. Means living space for the Germans. They thought we are such a superior race. हमारे इतना टुकड़ा है जर्मनी, हमें बड़ा लैंड चाहिए, और सबसे बड़ा इधर ही बगल में है हमारा ईस्ट में, रशियन का जनता, स्लाविक रेसेस, स्लाव्स उनको बोलते हैं, SLAV, स्लाविक पीपल्स बोलते हैं, रशिया, सर्बिया, ठीक है, स्लाविक पीपल्स, पोलिश, देर ऑल स्लाव्स. एंड हिटलर थॉट ये लोग नीच लोग हैं, नीच रेस है, इनको इतना बड़ा लैंड क्यों चाहिए भाई? German should get that land. That's why he invades Russia. Anyway, so did Plato talk about these things? No. Fascists of Italy, Benito Mussolini, he wanted to conquer parts of North Africa to recreate the Roman Empire, which had parts of North Africa under its rule. Right? Plato never talked about these things. So don't compare Plato with Hitler. तो ये डिफेंड किया, ये उल्टा पॉपर को गाली दिया कि यार तुम्हारा क्रिटिसिज्म अनफेयर और अनैक्रोनिस्टिक है. देन लेविंसन, ही रोट अ बुक इन डिफेंस ऑफ प्लेटो. 10 साल पॉपर का किताब लिख के 10 साल के बाद 1953 में 1953 he says भाई 2500 साल का अंतर है between Plato and fascism. Humanity has transformed today. It has grown to be an open society. Plato lived in a closed society. He lived in a society where women were in kitchens and bedrooms, confined there, and where slaves existed. In a population of 3 lakh, 1 lakh people were slaves, and half that population were women who had no rights. Plato belonged to that closed society. Now, society, the world has changed. You cannot compare. Therefore, Plato's ideas must be seen just as an inspiration, an ideal, and they will remain so. They will remain merely as inspirations for idealists, romantics, utopian, revolutionaries, or philosophers. Never for practical politics. Right? But एक theory है, पता है? Do you know there's a theory? एक theory, some scholars of Plato, some scholars who have studied Plato, they say पूरा Republic is actually a parody, a satire है. It's a satirical drama जिसका intention ही अलग है. These guys say Plato in horrible ideas such as communism of family wives इसीलिए लिखा ऐसे एज अ कहानी, बिकॉज ये तो डायलॉग है ही. it's not a नॉन फिक्शन बुक, इट्स अ फिक्शन बुक. कहानी है वो, डायलॉग है बिटवीन कैरेक्टर्स सच एज सोक्रेटिस, ग्लाउकन, एडियमेंटस, थ्रेसिमाकस, पोलीमाकस, सेफिलस. राइट? इस कहानी में प्लेटो ने अब्सर्डिटी दिखाया है. राइट? सो सम स्कॉलर्स आर्ग्यू दैट द एंटायर इंटेंशन ऑफ रिपब्लिक was satirical. ये प्लेटो ने मजाक लिखा है कि जस्ट टू शो अस कि कितना, अगर फिलोसफी को तुम घुसाओगे पॉलिटिक्स में, कितना पागलपंती दिखेगा कम्युनिज्म ऑफ वाइफ्स. और इसके लिए प्रूफ पता क्या कहते हैं ये लोग? दिस मे नॉट बी ट्रू वेदर प्लेटो इंटेंडेड सटायर और टू, जैसे एक चीज है, प्लेटो सेज दैट ऑल मेन एंड वुमेन विल eat together, dine together, live together, work out together in the gymnasium, सब कुछ. But do you know उस जमाने में the males would work out, do their exercises naked in the gyms in ancient Greece. Right? And only women who were allowed were servants of these males or the prostitutes. How could guardian women and men work out together naked? तो प्लेटो ये सारा बोला जस्ट टू मेक फन कि भाई तुम हमें ज्यादा फिलोसफी पॉलिटिक्स में लेके आना नहीं चाहिए. लेके आओगे ये सब है कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. बट ये एक थियरी है, इस नजरिया से देखना एक थियरी है. राइट? एनीवे, सो दिस इज द डिस्कशन ऑफ प्लेटो टोटलिटेरियनिज्म. Was he the first totalitarian? तो टोटलिटेरियन मतलब टोटल कंट्रोल, टोटल. स्टेट और इंडिविजुअल के बीच में कोई गैप नहीं है. टुडे वी हैव अ गैप. कैन द स्टेट टेल अस टू हैव बेबीज? कैन द स्टेट टेल अस यू डू ओनली दिस वर्क फॉरएवर? नो. एक बेसिक रूल्स देता है लॉस के थ्रू, वी हैव टू फॉलो देम सो दैट वी डोंट हर्ट ईच अदर. टोटलिटेरियन स्टेट में द स्टेट डिसाइड्स एवरीथिंग अबाउट अस and you can't say anything against the state. There is nothing against the state, there is nothing outside the state. You live for the state. The state controls your mind, it controls your body, it controls your choices. This is totalitarianism. So Plato in a way similar tha, but again anachronistic comparison. बट कंपैरिजन इसीलिए आया कि टोटलिटेरियंस दे वर यूजिंग प्लेटो, कि प्लेटो ने कहा था मैं ही फिलोसोफर किंग हूं, तो प्लेटो को ही तोड़ना था. If they were using Plato to defend their horrible rule, so Plato himself had to be questioned and criticized by modern thinkers. इसलिए तो पॉपर ने ऐसे किया. Anyway, now the next question, that is Plato's thought defies time and space. Bring out the universal elements in Plato's political philosophy. Understand the statement. Plato का जो सोच है, it defies time and space. It challenges time. ये नहीं कि मेरा सोच मेरे समय में रह जाएगा, आगे नहीं जाएगा. It challenges the concept of time and space. My सोच is relevant across time scales and across geographies. I may have spoken 2400 years ago, but what I say is relevant or has some connection with political life today and everywhere today, not just in ancient Greece, in ancient times, right? So that is the meaning of the statement. What is the directive given? Bring out the universal elements in Plato's political philosophy. Universal elements means how he has influenced and his ideas still reverberate. Either these ideas are good and relevant and needed today, or some of his ideas are misused today. But somehow Plato's ideas still surround us. Right. For example, slavery is no longer with us. It was part of humanity for a long time, but since over 100 years, there has not been any slavery. So slavery, for all intents and purposes, both its idea, the form, the institution is dead, no longer relevant, it's gone, it's eradicated. Right. But Plato's ideas, many of them are still relevant or still influences negatively or positively, or is being misused. Right. First, in the introduction, you will write, Plato's legacy is not limited to the Hellenic period of ancient Greece, but rather is universally relevant even to this very day, even today and for tomorrow. Full stop. Plato also gives us warnings regarding the dangers of democracy, mobocracy, corruption, ignorance in politics, and the union of political and economic power, which he called corruption. That's why he comes up with the Guardian class and communism. Right. Then what bring out? So directive says bring out the universal elements. You've finished the introduction. क्या लिखा आपने इंट्रोडक्शन में? What did I articulate just now? Says प्लेटो का जो लेगेसी है, it was not just great and important and relevant to ancient Greece back in his day, but is still relevant everywhere. Right? Not just his ideas, but his warnings. And you've given some examples. Anyway, some more. I missed this. Forgive me for my oversight here. So Plato का legacy के बारे में लिखोगे, then you will talk about the ideals he gave us to cherish, such as rule of reason, wisdom, education, laws, the importance of laws. Yes, we're not just limiting our question is not just about the book Republic. Overall, Plato's political philosophy, not philosophy, political philosophy. So it was Plato who talked about the greatness of laws, not just Aristotle. Plato started it, right? And then knowledge, ethics in politics. So these are the ideals to cherish he gave us and the warnings he gave us. So 3 sentences ka introduction hai. Plato's legacy is not just confined to ancient Hellenic times, but rather is universally relevant, full stop. He proposed several ideals to cherish, which are relevant even to this very day. For example, the importance of reason, wisdom, education, laws, knowledge, and having politics being based on ethics. Full stop. Then you will write the warnings he gives us. Plato also warned regarding the dangers of democracy, which could become mobocracy, and due to ignorance and corruption. Full stop. He further warned us the dangers of the danger of union of political and economic power. So तीन sentence, तीन pointed. This introduction has 3 pointers. Then you will write what the directive expected you to write, that is the universal. Bring out matlab discuss karo, charcha karo, likho sare. First, rule of reason. That reason is the highest element, and Plato talked about reason being the superior element in the soul, and that state should have wise rulers, right? So this is somehow related to the social contract thinker. Let me explain this briefly. Dekho, social contract thinkers, Hobbes, Locke. If you take these two thinkers, their era was the 17th century England, मतलब 1600s, 400 साल पहले. What they said was, their theories talk about the origins of the state. Origins in the sense, not the historical origins. They theorized, they wondered, they asked the question, why state is important? Why do we need the state? Right. So both of them imagined a situation, a paristhiti, where there is no state. State gayab hai. What will happen? Hobbes said a lot of violence and bloodshed will be there, which will be every man warring and fighting against every other man. Every man fighting each other out of fear for their desires. Fear or desire kya hai? Fear, passion, emotion, they are not reason. Right? So then Hobbes says, jab mahol itna kharab tha, when people are fighting each other, fearful of life and limb, they all used their reason and realized that we need a neutral institution that would govern our behavior. We need a leader. We need a king. And then what did they do? They formed the state. So state is product of reason. Without state, हम या तो डर के बैठेंगे, डर के रहेंगे, या तो हमारे डिजायर पूरा करने सबको मारेंगे. डर और डिजायर और मारना, they are all negative emotions. But state समझदारी से आता है. So state is a product of reason. हमारा reason हमें इंस्ट्रक्ट करता है कि सब भाई एक दूसरे से लड़ाई बंद करो और एक न्यूट्रल इंस्टीट्यूशन खड़ा करो, दो जो राज करेगा आपको, ताकि आप एक दूसरे को ना हर्ट करे. So state is a product of reason. This is what the social contract thinkers said. Right? Anyway, आने वाले thinkers यही है. तो in detail I'll teach you how state is a product of reason. इन दोनों की अंतर क्या है इसी विचार में. Right? So rule of reason, what Plato said, can somehow be stretched and connected with social contract thinkers. Plato also said state should be governed by rational and wise men. Right? Next, Plato warned us about democracy, that mobocracy yaad hai aapko. And Socrates and Plato, they were contemptuous towards democracy. They hated democracy. Why? Because democracy में नालायक लोग हमारे ऊपर राज करते हैं. नेपोटिज्म का प्रोडक्ट्स, बाप चीफ मिनिस्टर, बेटा भी चीफ मिनिस्टर. नॉलेज डजंट गवर्न अस, नालायक लोग, और जो लोग अच्छा भाषण दे पाते हैं. राइट? एंड दिस इज समथिंग, इट इज अ कॉमन सिम्टम इन ऑल डेमोक्रेसीज टुडे, लिबरल डेमोक्रेसीज. राइट? देन In his book, The Laws, what did he emphasize on? He emphasized on rule of law. अगर फिलोसोफर किंग मिलेगा नहीं, कम से कम लॉज हमें राज करना है, राइट? सो मॉडर्न स्टेट अगर आप देखोगे इज बेस्ड ऑन रूल ऑफ लॉ, राइट? Then his views on women, he said women were equal in terms of capabilities. Women can also become guardians, soldiers and philosopher queens, right? So आज भी relevant है. Radical feminism. Radical feminism एक feminism का एक variant है, which said that women should be completely freed from reproductive responsibilities so that women decide what they want to be. Plato didn't say women could be anything they wanted. He wanted women to be guardian women, to be freed from family life so that they could be soldiers or queens. But radical feminism says reproduction से free करो और कुछ भी बनने के लिए आजादी छोड़ दो. So exact comparison नहीं है. But Plato's insistence on women, guardian women being free from reproductive roles, responsibility, they will mate, the best of them will be chosen to mate and bear children, but once the children are born, they'll be separated. Yes, the idea is problematic, but जो उस समय कहा, at least half of what he said is still being said, but for different intentions. Plato का गोल था free women from child rearing, child bear करो but rear मत करो. So free women from child rearing and make them guardians. Radical feminists say free women from childbearing and child rearing. Let it be their choice and let them be whatever they want to be. Half of what Plato said is still resonating, is still being talked about. Right. Then if you see his views on education, he said education should be free, affordable, accessible, sponsored by the state. Don't we have the same concept today in welfare states? Right to education we have, and who will give that free education? The state, right? And Plato said that our mind, our body and our soul should comprehensively develop, right? That is the and today also we are concerned about overall development. What he said is very much instructive to us, very much relevant and important for us. Why? Today ये जमाना है कि वो क्या, वो गिरा हुआ कंपनी बाइजू, उसका कोई एक्विजिशन था ना, व्हाइट हैट जूनियर और समथिंग, विच वाज टीचिंग कोडिंग टू 6-year-olds. भैया 6 साल की बच्चे कीड़े मकोड़े खाते हैं, मेंढक को मारते हैं, मिट्टी के साथ खेलते हैं. उन बच्चों को तुम कोडिंग सिखा रहे, दिमाग खराब कर रहे हो उनको. What did Plato say? Students should be given poetry, beautiful music, physical training. Let their minds and all grow. But we are teaching children to be like a computer, like artificial intelligence. What about their spiritual development, emotional development? They will have mental breakdowns. 6 साल की बच्चे को कोडिंग सिखा रहे हो, थोड़ा बहुत let them have some sort of a familiarity with it. But आपको पता, इंडियन पेरेंट्स तो पता है, इतना मोटा सा चश्मा बच्चे को आएगा और एक दूसरे की बच्चे कंपैरिजन करते हैं पेरेंट्स, एंड इधर भी इतना कंपटीशन होता है, बच्चे का लाइफ खराब. This is the age kids should play with volleyball, basketball, then musical instruments, play with dogs, just be kids like we were, right? So today Plato's idea of mind, body, soul development, overall personality development is very essential. Physical training very essential. Today most kids are what? Holding a smartphone, playing games instead of playing outside. कोई कंस्ट्रक्शन घर, कोई if a house is being constructed and there's a lot of sand on it, what would we do? I would play WWE there. Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. I would play wrestling. My friends would throw me off the mitti, I would throw them off the mitti. right? But here coding सीखा भाई. So Plato is relevant. Then Plato's concept of functional specialization. देखो एक सिंपल है, मेरा एक स्किल है बोलने का. I speak well, I am very articulate, my English is very attractive, and I'm able to explain things in a very impressive and inspirational way, inspiring way. And I have the interest here. मेरा skill और मेरा interest है, तो मुझे पसंद भी है और मेरे पास skill भी है और इसका मार्केट पे डिमांड में भी है. जब तीनों मिलता है, you will excel in your life. Same thing Plato talked about inherent, innate potential, innate skill, and उस स्किल के ऊपर जब काम करेगा इंसान, he will be a specialist in that, master in that. So we should do things that we're meant to do. We should do things for which we have natural abilities, capacities, potential, aptitude, talents. Only then we'll excel at it. And society will get good professionals in different capacities. Right? Plato's communism, still communist parties are there. Still communists say that political power and economic power का nexus तोड़ना है, इनका connection तोड़ना है. Right? His warning, his hatred for corruption, nepotism, ignorance is still relevant for us. His ideas of improving the human race, Greek race, still talked about. उसका आइडिया था, अभी उस आइडिया इंप्लीमेंट करने का टेक्नोलॉजी भी है. क्रिस्पर कैस9, राइट? देन ये सब नेगेटिव पॉइंट्स है थोड़ा. हिज आइडियाज ऑफ मसीहा, 56 इंच का सीने का लीडर, टोटलिटेरियंस, सुपरमैन, उबरमेंश. फ्रेडरिक नीचे बोल के एक फिलोसोफर था, who was influenced by the sophists, and this philosopher lived 100 years ago. He was influenced by the sophists. Sophist बोलता है कि जैसे एक लायन एक हिरण को मार के खाता है अपने सर्वाइवल के लिए, द सेम वे पॉलिटिशियन अपना भाषण में अच्छा होके अपना ट्रिक्स यूज करके पावर में आना है, सत्ता पे आना है. सेम वे फ्रेडरिक नीचे सेड, he gave the concept of superman, ubermensch, not the superman, but this उसको overman समझो, ubermensch. So this ubermensch should have the will to power, do anything he wants, right? So these are the ideas. Right. So in the conclusion, what will you write? Plato's legacy impacts us, touches all aspects of politics, political studies, political thought, and political theory. Full stop. We live in the era of pandemics, inequality, disinformation, consumerism, mobocracy. Therefore, leaders should adopt Plato's ideas such as having rational faculties, using logic, becoming wise, knowledgeable, and focusing on the common good. Full stop. Done and dusted. इसमें disinformation, we live in the era of fake news. सरकार झूठ बोलता है, झूठ स्प्रेड करता है, हाफ ट्रूथ्स, फॉल्स स्टोरीज, राइट? पोस्ट ट्रूथ एरा जिसको बोलते हैं. So we have connected these current events and then how leaders should be, ये लिखा. This is the segment. कि conclusion again 3 segment है, just like introduction has 3 important points. इधर क्या है? Plato, you're saying this is the preambular point of the conclusion, the starting point, preambular, like a preamble. कि हाँ भाई, he influences us in different ways in actual politics, in political thinking, political studies. Then the era we live in, the problems in our era, and what the leaders, the qualities leaders should have to fight these problems. Right. Now, so we have finished these 2 questions on Plato. The next question is,